inner space. This inner space is my room to fill all positivity into this. Positive quotes, elevated knowledge, positive thinking. I find myself full, realize this state of mind which is different from our day-to-day life and state of mind. How beautiful, how soothing it is, how empowering it is. Let us promise to ourselves that we create this inner space time and again to fill positivity into our life. Let us connect with this positivity with others and create a circuit of positivity. Om Shanti. Thank you. I also welcome Sister Ambika Benji onto the dais. So we have two valuable diamonds in front of us, as we also shine like diamonds, and they also shone with the spiritual experience and power. So we have Sister Aruna, a diamond with spiritual skills, and we also have Sister Ambika Benji, who has got the depth of yoga, meditation, and depth of knowledge. So I welcome both of them on behalf of all of you, on behalf of the IT wing of Brahma Kumaris. Hearty welcome to all of you. So we begin this program. So I request inner resilience to outer agility. As I connect myself to my inner power, I have more capability to think and then draw to conclusions. It is nothing but my power to come back or bounce back to my originality, and that is nothing but my inner power, the inner qualities or the inborn values that I hold. So we will be dealing with this session or these ideas with a few sessions and workshops and interactive Q&A. And before the beginning of this program, we have a small lighting of lamp, which also says that there is light within me. I take light from God, and then it is nothing but let the knowledge flow from all the corners, and let me also disseminate knowledge as the power of light. So Jyoti se Jyoti jagate chalo. So we begin with this Jyoti by invoking the Supreme, who is also the bright star, and also by invoking the inner power within us. As we light the lamp, we promise to ourselves that this will be the day for us to be positive, spread positivity around the world. Let us all say with peace, Om Shanti. So I thank our respected sisters very much. So it is a very unique, it is a very unique culture in Bharat. You start off with such a beautiful, process of lighting the lamp, which draws our attention to the light, saying that it should be me and I should be that, the light within. So moving ahead, I now request Sister Sneha, who has been to Raj Yoga meditation from childhood, practicing. Presently, she is rendering her services in one of the Brahma Kumari centers in Bangalore, Gaurav Nagar. And she also is a core group member of the SPARC, Spiritual Application and Research Center of Brahma Kumaris. So when Brahma Kumaris started, what is our motto and what is our activity within? With so many wings, I would like her to share a brief introduction of the Brahma Kumaris. Sister Sneha.
Om Shanti. A warm welcome to all of you to this wonderful program. Many of you would be knowing about Brahma Kumaris. Maybe a few don't know about us. How many of you don't know who are Brahma Kumaris? Only 3, 4, 5, 6 people. The rest of them know who Brahma Kumaris are. But yet I would like to give a very brief intro about our organization. As you know, Brahma Kumaris is recognized worldwide as a spiritual organization. But I would like to call it also educational and spiritual organization. And the journey began in around 1936-37 in Sindh, Hyderabad, Pakistan. Right now it is in Pakistan. Then later on it got shifted to around 51 it got shifted to Mount Abu, Rajasthan in India. So that is our current headquarters. From there we started, and then we have spread across 142 countries. We have around 8,500 branches in these countries, spread all over the world, and maximum are in India. So the spiritual movement began with a very few dedicated people who wanted to practice spirituality in their daily life, who made spirituality as their part of day-to-day activity. So it began with 300 people. Today we have more than 9 lakh people practicing spirituality in their day-to-day life. So it's a very simple technique which we learn here, that is realization of self, and realizing the self connecting to the higher source of energy, whom we call God or Supreme, and then drawing the power from there and using that power in our day-to-day activities. So it's not just meditation, but a kind of lifestyle wherein we practice healthy lifestyle. So there is a change in our thinking, in our words, and even in our actions when we learn these spiritual truths and practice these principles. So this basic simple meditation technique is taught in all our branches, and this technique is also, we encourage people to apply it in their professional life also. So as you have gathered here, almost all of you are IT professionals. So in this way, we have around 20 wings in Brahma Kumaris, each wing serving different communities of the society. Like today, IT people have gathered here. Similarly, we have education wing, medical wing, scientists and engineering wing. So we have different wings through which we serve people of that community. So Brahma Kumaris have been there for almost more than 82 years, but we began to grow slowly, and globally we were recognized in 1980s by the UN. So we are with consultative status with UN, specifically UNICEF. And then we have been participating in many of their programs, and Brahma Kumaris have been awarded 7 Peace Messenger Awards for their contribution towards global peace and cooperation. Apart from meditation, we also impart value education for school children and also teachers, because we believe it is the values which make our society better. And today we see very less of these core values used. So we encourage people to recognize their true self and bring out those values in day-to-day life. And today where you are seated, this is the sub-zone head office. Brahma Kumaris is divided into zones and sub-zones in India. And mostly when you go to the centers across India, you find one or two sisters there. So you must be wondering the name Brahma Kumaris and you find sisters there in white saris. So is it an organization just for women? No, it's not an organization just for women. It's for everybody. It's for humanity. But the administration is mostly by women. So the centers are run by women. And this is the sub-zone head office. The sister you see here, Ambika Didi, she is the sub-zone in charge. So like that we have different zones. And that is how it is administered. And we all practice the same principles. Only the difference between the 9 lakh people who are practicing and people here is we are dedicated full time, but they come and go, but we all practice the same things in day-to-day life and follow the same principles. Thank you. Om Shanti.
Thank you very much. So this was a brief introduction about Brahma Kumaris, and as Sister Sneha already mentioned, we have Sister Ambika Benji here, who was instrumental in organizing this program for 3 days. She is the director of the Vivipuram Zone Brahma Kumaris Bangalore, so managing more than 300 centers and approximately more than 300 dedicated sisters. So she herself has dedicated her life for more than, I think, 45 years, and she has a vast experience in Raj Yoga meditation, the depth of knowledge, and she is inspiring many with this depth of knowledge and yoga. So I would also be very pleased to say that she is the chairperson of Spiritual Application and Research Center, a very unique wing of Brahma Kumaris, where we tie up with different research organizations to come up with more experiments and result-oriented research on yoga, that is meditation. So she has been the chairperson, and she also leads many of the experiments on this lines. So now I request Ambika Benji to say a few words of inspiration.
Again, my request to say Om Shanti means I am a peaceful being within, in the body which is mine. I again welcome you all to your home, the God's home, to take your inheritance by the Supreme Parent, the Supreme Father, whom we all love more than anything. Is it true? Consciously or subconsciously, we all love Him a lot. And any emergency inside, we speak to Him, we call Him for help. We need Him. We need His support. Do you agree with me? So, this is His call for all of you to take the inheritance of the spiritual knowledge, what He is giving through the human media of Prajapita Brahma. I am so glad to tell you all and share this, that to whom we were waiting, to whom we were calling for the support, He is already down to support us, to care us, to sustain us, and to fill up all the gaps and makes us totally empowered with the spiritual knowledge. Nowadays, in the modern society, so-called, the scientific approaches in the society has made man to think only scientifically, which has made somewhere narrow, somewhere broader. Even though having the material comforts because of the science, whatever we may have, but inside when we peep within, we feel empty within, we lack something, the missing gap is there. Is it right? So, who can fill up that gap? When I am disturbed, when I need the energy, when I need the moral support or whatever within I want, that gap can be filled by the Supreme Parent through the spiritual knowledge and the connection. Why I am saying this is, in this modern society, people do feel that spirituality is something else which is not necessary for us, or we don't need, as we are totally busy. With the busy schedules, we think that we lack a time for it. But truly to say you, with the Spiritual Application and Research Center, whatever we have, the research reports, along with Delhi DRDO, Defense, and the Bangalore Nimans, Kidwai, and Delhi, the Spine Center, whatever the report says, that it says that at least minimum 15 minutes of meditation and the spirituality, the spiritual thinking is necessary, and it is an emergency need of an hour where we should go within and we should realize the reality so that we can be empowered and we are always energetic and powerful to face the challenges. So spirituality is nothing, you need not worry for it, where we have to renounce or we have to become passive, leaving everything. No, that is not spirituality. Spirituality is a discipline, it is a part of life where shifting consciousness to reality is the spirituality. The reality of my eternal self and the reality of my Creator and the creation surrounding me, whatever the things are happening, why? Knowing the reason, the cause behind each and every situation makes you knowledgeable so that you can face those things, face challenges in your field without getting disturbed or without getting involved, because the powers what we gain with the spirituality and the meditation, which makes us totally rich within. So you will be the richest one, the powerful one, the highest one, where you can elevate yourself with the spiritual knowledge and meditation to the level of perfection. Saying so, my thought is only that you need not put an end that you heard something, you got something, some intuition here, and just leave it. But I do request you all that you make spirituality a part of your life, so that as we take time for ourselves, to our body, the sustenance, and to our work and our families, same way, you should feel that, our Didi will tell you what an importance it has, the spirituality and the meditation, where how the emergency need it is, so that for me, that is the inner being, the light being, always to be powerful and so much flexible, where you can bounce back all the situations, whatever it comes. Spirituality makes you so stable, strong and powerful and positive. Thank you so much. And you have to be a spiritual beings, just not human doings. Whole day just handling computer, doing things, and then end up the day with that same busy schedule, with the same busy inside, and totally empty within. That is not our routine. You should be full of energy, full of enthusiasm, full of everything, because You are not just human doings, but you are also spiritual beings, the light being within. That is the realization you should take from here permanently. Thank you so much. Om Shanti.
I thank Sister Ambika Benji. So, with few words of inspirations, it is a long takeaway. Because our journey, yatra jo hai, bahut lambi hai. It's a long journey. So in this long journey, we meet so many people, our mentors, our guides, our leaders, our role models. And then we learn a lot, get inspired and empowered a lot. So to take us along this journey of empowerment, we have Sister Aruna from Kuwait. Aruna Benji was born in Kenya, and later when they shifted to London, she was brought up there, educated there. She has 3 decades of spiritual experience. That means as a dedicated sister, as a mentor and guide to many people, she has been with this organization for more than 30 years. So she has traveled to Canada, managed the center there. She was in Turkey and then Bahrain, and then later now presently for the past 10 years, she has been rendering her services in Kuwait. So she has written many books. It's time now, which has already become my favorite book. It's time to do things. It's time to meditate. It's time to make friendship. It's time to do so many things. It's time that is itself a punchline, right? So you start to do that. So she has written many books. She has also got her blogs where you can get into the blogs and read it. It is free. And then she's been here for the first time in Bangalore. She has given many talks in many companies, and she was with us with the spiritual knowledge, sharing her spiritual knowledge and experience with the students over here, practicing knowledge for a long time. And she has got such a vast experience in each subject. It could be stress management, it could be positive thinking, it could be power of now, or it could be spiritual skills. So she can put things in such a simpler way, which is very understandable, which has got deep secret behind that, and it is very practical, in the sense pragmatic. So with all the divine qualities inside her, she also exhibits aura, a very different positive aura from our respected sisters, which you can find as you go through this journey. So now I request Sister Aruna to take over and share her thoughts on today's topic, inner resilience to outer agility. Thank you so much.
Very long introduction. I'll just get... So it would be good, I think, if you all had some pen and paper. And I think our team has some if you don't have any. Right? Where's the brother that I spoke to? Anyway, at some point I'll get you to do some exercises. So it's good if you're prepared now with some, right? You're a good student. So that was a very long introduction for somebody who tries to live a very simple life. So yes, let's begin with, So let's begin with today's topic. I must say, I think it's the first time I'm doing this topic because I've spoken about many things, but not in this way. And so I had to also give it some extra thought, and so I've had my own realizations while I've been preparing this for all of you. So basically, you know, who doesn't need inner resilience, right? Inner strength, inner power, inner ability to handle things. Everybody, right? And we live in a world where everything is changing so quickly. And we say that the only constant is change. So there is a saying that if you do not keep up with the change, you will get left behind. Okay, so we have to continue to reinvent ourselves. Reinvent means what? It means to keep acquiring new skills, new knowledge, so that we can continue to adapt to what is happening in the world. Otherwise, we will become archaic. Yes, are you understanding my English? Yeah. So we will become archaic and primitive, and then we won't be able to handle the modern day stresses. So I'd like to start by saying, let's just go through what is the current day status of what's happening in the world, and then I'll move into more of the resolution. So, yeah, we live in a very fast-paced workplace, right? Especially IT. I think all of you are from that field, and I don't know about you, but I always expect IT people to do things quickly and right now, and you know, it's like you should have all the answers. This is my impression of IT people. Like when I ask my brothers who are IT and I say, can you help me fix this? And they say, well, I don't know. I say, well, why don't you know? You're in IT, you know? So we expect all of you to be perfect, smart, intelligent. We expect all of you to know how to do things. And so I think this is the general impression of the world, that, yeah, you're expected to know. And so there's a very high pressure, you know, to deliver the demands of people. Anyway, even generally speaking, we'll come to the internet now. We'll come to the internet in the next slide. But yes, even this notion of having to do many things, right? Multitasking, and then always short of time. You know, if you look at the subject of time, in the past, right, when we used to write a letter, say you had your beloved somewhere in the Middle East, okay? So you sent your letter from India to your beloved, wherever, Kuwait, say, okay? Right? It used to take 3 months, right, to get there. Then you'd wait 3 months for the ship to come back, and you'd be happily waiting, you'd be patient, okay? But now in today's world, right, you send a message, right, I love you, and if you don't get I love you back, how do you feel? If you don't get it back immediately, you may get it back later, but that's not good enough, right? Why weren't you thinking of me? Okay, so this is the point, that we're, because of modern day technology, we are also being asked to respond much quicker. So I remember I was growing up with the advent of telexes, faxes. You know, I was working on that at the time. So I grew up with that, and then, you know, email came along, and then now all this stuff, you know, the iPhone, the computers. So basically, yeah, there's an expectation, actually, that if you have an email, you're supposed to respond within 24 hours. Did you know that? There is like an unspoken rule, let's say, that you should at least check your emails once a day, and therefore you should be responding. In the same way, like WhatsApp messages, I don't know the rule for that, but I think at least an hour or two, right? You should be looking at your phone within an hour or two, and so you should respond. But these are all rules that we are making up, right? So we are adding this pressure to ourselves by creating these rules and, you know, forcing ourselves to act faster. So anyway, also the notion of multitasking, you can't multitask anymore, it doesn't work, because there's a conflict between the left brain and the right brain. So yeah, we live in an era of information overload where there's just so much to know and to learn, and you know, somebody can just sit at the computer and be, you know, what do you call it, cyberspacing, and spend the whole day. You know, there's so much you can learn about, like plants and flowers and food and health and science, and you can be sitting watching videos all day. So this is the notion now that the whole world is flat. you know, that everybody has information, access to information, no matter what your age, what your race, what your country. Everybody has access to the same information. So nobody's privileged or elite or special. Everybody has access to everything, and therefore everybody can do what they want with the information. So everybody has a right to become what they want. And so our mind is being hijacked with, you know, all this stuff, right? So as a result of all this technology, we're actually becoming an attention deficit, okay? So 46.9% of us are distracted from the task. So what does that mean? What does that mean in terms of our work productivity, our employee engagement, stress levels, etc.? Can we fix the screen? So yeah, there's a lot of, you know, stresses as a result of all this. And so how do we deal with it? And just this other thing now, that when our mind is wandering, what happens when we're distracted? Even children, by the way, right? Children, do you see lots of kids on iPads? You know, parents, to keep them busy now, they're put on little iPads. And so they see these colorful screens and they're entertained. So imagine how these kids are going to grow up, you know? No real toys to play with, or no knitting or sewing or anything like that. Just growing up with a tablet. So it's not really healthy. It's not good for the eyes. It's not good for the mind. It's not good for the hands. So I don't know what the next generation is going to look like. But anyway, if the mind, yeah, is wandering, then this is the result. You see? We tend to then have a very poor self-image. Because again, think about, you know, you think you have lots of friends on WhatsApp and Facebook, etc. But how many real friends do you have? Very few, right? You agree or no? Huh? Lots of them. Real good friends, not on Facebook, in real life. They're on Facebook. Oh, she's not there on Facebook, good. Neither am I. Okay, so no, there's an illusion that because I've clicked all these people, that they're my friends, but they're not your friends, okay? Real friends are hard to find, and real friends, you have to talk face to face. But even that is lacking now. And there's a survey done on this, actually, that children, because they're WhatsApping all the time, they don't have social skills. They don't know how to talk to the guests when they come in the house, or how to be hospitable, or how to serve them or care for them, because there's very little, you know, interpersonal connection. So yeah, that, and then rigid, I become stubborn or rigid, or, you know, not so flexible. Pessimistic, right? Because the thing is, if my mind is wandering, the whole premise of this is, if my mind is wandering, I'm not focused, I'm not stable, I'm not happy. And so these are the results: mood swings, irritability, stress, conflict, etc. And so we say, actually, that a mind that is diseased, right? Diseased creates then disease in the body. And there's many, you know, proofs of this, that if something is going on in your mind, it's going to have an effect on the physical body. So you have to ask yourself, really, where are my thoughts going? How am I using my time? And as a result of that, what's the effect on the body? And do I really want to do this to my health? Think about it. Is this how I want to live my life? And is this what I want to do? आप पानी ले आएंगे मेरे लिए? So let's look at now today's topic, which is definition of resilience. And I've gone into the, what you call it, the internet to get this answer. But before that, building outer agility is an inside job. Yeah? So we say inner resilience. So let's see what they say on the internet. So it's the ability to recover from or adjust easily to misfortune or change. Right? When you're agile, you're flexible, you're able to move on. The capacity to recover quickly from difficulties. So you are tough. The ability of a substance or object to spring back into shape. So again, this elasticity. So sometimes you say the fabric is resilient, which means... and it can bounce back. It can adjust, it's flexible, and it bounces back. Okay, so this is the definition of resilience. Is everybody clear with this? Because I know these are not everyday terms that we use. But if we now get onto the same page of what we're talking about, ठीक है? आपको यहाँ shift होना है? हाँ. नहीं, ये कुर्सी ले लो. Take your bag. I'll take it. Yeah, just sit next to her. That's it. Yeah. Okay, so this is definition of resilience. And what is the definition of agility? So agility means ability to move quickly and easily, ability to think and understand quickly. You're agile, right? You can move on. And here are some of the qualities for outer agility. So you're sharp thinking, optimistic, creative, courageous, confident, high self-esteem, attitude of learning, enthusiastic. Like you have that zest for life, you know? You're in tune with your passion. So here in our language, in our spiritual language, we say that you are in alignment. So what you are thinking and speaking and doing is one. Yeah, you are in alignment. And when you're in alignment, then that's when you are at peace. Think about it. If I'm thinking to do something, but I'm saying something else, and I'm doing something completely different, I'm not at peace, and I'm actually restless. Because a part of me is, you know, not in tune, yeah. But also a part of me feels like there's a missing piece. So I might have good thoughts, but I'm not able to accomplish them. So in our center in Kuwait, we have a little plaque, a little sign. And it says, footprints in history were not made by sitting down. Footprints in history were not made by sitting down. So that means that I have to get up and do. So if I want to create, right, the inner resilience, the strength, and the ability to move on, then yes, I have to do a little bit of work inside. In other words, I have to understand myself. I have to understand my part within the drama. And I have to understand the influence, the connection between me and the drama. And I have to understand, is it I influencing the drama of life, or is it the drama of life influencing me? So who is the master and who is the slave? Okay, we'll come to more of this in a minute. But the connection, be conscious of the connection between I and mine. I, the being, and the body, and everything around me. And when there's a deeper understanding of this, then I can create that strength of mind. Because I create that distance. Yeah? This thing does not influence me. I'll come to that in a minute. And these are the qualities. Yeah? What can happen if there is outer agility? So there's a can-do attitude. Ability to handle crisis. Problem-solving skills. Enhanced creativity. Maybe as you're reading these, you can ask yourself, do I have these? Just check yourself. I'm a change agent. Yeah, change agent means somebody who can implement change, can inspire others to bring change. Manage stress at all levels. Higher EQ, right? Emotional quotient. And because there's higher EQ, there's lower conflict. I stay flexible and humorous, and I create harmony. So all these, you can see, what's the common denominator? It's all positive, right? And that's the idea. I think that's why the brothers chose this topic, is the whole idea of becoming strong from inside out is that I become a better person and I'm able to handle everything out there much more easily, much more calmly. And at the end, I'm the happier person. I'm happier for it. You see? So whatever, this is a saying by Tao Te Ching, whatever is flexible and flowing will tend to grow. Whatever is rigid and blocked will wither and die. You know, there's a theory in Aikido, right, martial arts, that when they're teaching the students how to fight, then even the weakest person or the shortest person can outsmart a heavy person or a difficult opponent. Okay? And how they're doing this is they're teaching them the skill of how to apply themselves to the conflict. Okay, I'm speaking slowly so that you keep up. So what they teach them, right, is to get into position, which means you stabilize yourself, right? You stabilize your feet and you get grounded. And first you have to be stable, and then the upper part of you should be flexible. So the feet are grounded and strong, but the upper part is flexible, okay? If, for example, I'm standing like this, and I'm saying, right, come. You know, I'm ready for you. Okay? If I'm standing like this, I don't have proper balance, actually. And so when my opponent comes running to me, I will, fall down. It will be so easy for him or her to, you know, throw me. So this is the same concept here, that when I am adapting to change, then firstly, I don't need to be afraid. Okay, one is no fear. Second, let me apply the tools. Let me apply the skills, which is to get into my space, which is let me reposition myself here in the soul. Let me use the right words, the right language, which I'll show you in a few minutes. Let me self-talk. Let me reposition my mind. Let me get positive. And then really whatever is coming at me, I can use my energy, my power, to overthrow it. Do you see? If I'm standing like this, I won't be able to defend myself properly. So that's why we're saying you get into a position and then you overthrow. So this is the mental, in a way, juxtaposition we need to create in the mind so that we can then deal with anything. Okay? And let me tell you, like, so when I was studying conflict resolution, at that time, I used to be afraid of conflicts. Okay? But after I learned some tips and tools, now I'm not afraid of conflict. So I might have conflict, which means we may not understand each other, but then I feel I have the tools to say, okay, let's talk. Let's try and understand each other. What's going on? And because now there's no fear, right, you can resolve this situation easily, yeah. So this is the point. The point is that when there is knowledge, when there is understanding, when I apply it, then really things become easy for me. And so what we are doing is with the mind, we are flexing the muscles of the mind. Okay, I think I have another slide on that. Okay, let's just talk a bit now. These next few slides are about negative thinking, right? So before we move on to all positive stuff, let us just get into how it is that we lose our resilience. We lose our agility, okay? And one of the things we do, and this might be a nice picture, right? So here's a banana talking to itself, and it says, mirror, mirror on the wall, I'm ugly, rotten. I'm old, rotten, and ugly. Okay? You remember that other lady, the witch, who says, mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of them all? Yeah? So this is the banana thinking negative about itself. And because it's thinking negative, then of course that's the image that it sees, right? This rotten banana. So, yeah, so this kind of thinking, negative thinking, self-criticism, it actually sabotages us. Which means I'm trying to be a good person, I'm trying to do good, but then the negative thinking kicks in and it overtakes me. It becomes more powerful than me. That's why we say it sabotages me, you see? And as a result of that, there is low self-esteem. And really, if you think about it, I've thought about this a lot as I've seen many cases around the world. The root of many of our problems in society is low self-esteem. Because I have a very low opinion of myself, I tend to think a lot of waste thoughts. I tend to think a lot of negative thoughts, a lot of extra thoughts. Okay, trying to prove to myself that yes, I'm something. It means I'm greater than I am. So we need to feel a real sense of self-esteem from inside out, not outside in. And this is what people are doing. People, right, may get lots of credentials, a lot of education, a lot of credentials, a lot of titles, more money, more assets, you see? And they think that their self-esteem is something. They are somebody now because they have so many things. But think about it. If those things were to go, okay, you lose your job. The tsunami knocks down your house. The thieves steal the money from the bank. Imagine if all of this happens at the same time. What are you left with? Who are you? What are you left with? With yourself. Yeah, you and yourself, and that's it. You, your thoughts, and yourself. So this is why, right, you've got to build a self-esteem that's based on here, something that's here, inside. Your self-worth has to be based on who you are and not what you have. This is the big difference. So that wherever you go, you carry that self-esteem with you. Your self-esteem should not be based on anything material or physical. Okay? And that's why I'm saying, because our self-esteem is based on material, that's why we are comparing, criticizing, we're jealous, we want to possess, you know? And it's never enough. Never enough. Greed is a bottomless pit. You can never fill the hole of greed. Okay? And then, yeah, comparing ourselves, right? Which means we are not counting our blessings. So we say, is the glass half full or is it half empty? Half full. Right? Always see your life, your glass of life, as half full. Because when you say it's full, then more comes. You see? Because you're already appreciating. The universe will say, give it to them, because they are appreciating. They are valuing it. But the one who says, I don't have, it's not enough, poor me, the universe says, forget it. They will never appreciate it. So it doesn't come to you then. And we lack self-appreciation, right? So again, how many times a day do you do this to yourself? Right? Because nobody's going to do it for you, right? So you might as well do it to yourself. And say, yeah, Aruna, you're good. Carry on. you know? So meditation is this kind of act of self-love, where every day we love ourselves, which means I spend time with myself, I talk to myself, I compliment myself, I tap myself on the back and I say, yeah, you're doing good, just carry on. Even if something hasn't gone well, it's okay. But just look at what is working. Don't look at what is not working. Okay? Because you want to give more energy to what is working. Okay. And still on the negative. So be prepared to win the battle of the little critic voice inside of you. Right? So there's always, we say, there's an angel and a devil. Right? So which voice are you going to listen to? Angel, yeah. So there was a father talking to his son, and he said, son, you know what? There are two wolves inside of us. Yeah? One is a good wolf, and one is a bad wolf. So the child says, so what are they doing, Dad? He said, well, they're both trying to survive. They're trying to survive each other, you know. And so the boy says, well, Dad, which wolf will live? Like, which one will survive? And he said, child, the one you feed. You get it? So there's a good part of you and there's a bad, negative part of you. And the one you feed is the one that will grow and flourish. Yeah? So which side of you do you want to nourish and flourish? The good side, yeah. You don't want to flourish the negative. So, you know, we believe here, because sometimes people say, well, you're always talking about good things, you're always talking about positive things. Why aren't you ever, you know, pessimistic? They sometimes blame us for not being realistic, right? Because we're always so positive and happy, and they think we're Buddhas, you know, because we're laughing all the time. Well, the thing is that we have chosen to stay happy, and we have chosen to see only the positive. We know there is the negative, but when you... Okay, there's a saying here, right? Where attention goes, energy flows. Where energy flows, life grows. So if you put more energy into the virtues, into your spiritual powers, into the positivity, you're making that grow. That's not to say we're not aware of our weaknesses. We know our weaknesses, but we don't want to put attention to that. We don't want to feed them by giving them that attention. And in this way, with time, over time, right, what happens? You become a better person. You become more positive. And it's as easy as that, actually. Just keep focusing on your goodness and keep focusing on the goodness of others. And this also works in relationships where you feel that, you know, the relationship is not working. Every day in the morning, in your meditation, spend 5 minutes just giving good wishes to that person. Just be good, just be nice, just wish them well. And tell them, you know what, you're really great. And with time, that person will change. Their behavior towards you will change. This is proven. It's not even something you have to try. I promise you, I guarantee you that it will work. Okay, so the point is that, yeah, the only enemy actually is inside of me. So let me stay positive, let me spread positivity, and it's only me. I myself am my worst enemy by becoming negative. Okay? So again, don't listen to that critic voice. So this is the negative self-talk. How am I being the critic? This is the negative self-talk that goes on inside of me. So I say, it's not going to work. I don't deserve this. Nobody loves me, likes me. And everything is going from bad to worse. And of course, other things. You have, I'm sure, your own, you know, words and sentences that you say to yourself. But the self-talk is the conversation that I'm having inside of myself all the time. So think about it. If your friend were talking to you, if your best friend who loved you dearly was talking to you, how would they talk to you? They'd be nice. They'd be kind. They'd be encouraging. So why can't I be my own best friend? You know? If I'm to create that inner resilience, firstly, I have to be my own best friend. I have to be supportive to myself by having positive self-talk, which we'll come to. So let me talk a moment about momentum, because momentum is very important. See, the reason why we're asking you to think positive is because whatever thought you create, you build momentum. Okay, and this is momentum. You know momentum when you throw something, like you throw a ball downhill, and then it picks up speed. And in this case, it's picking up speed and it's picking up the snow, right? Until the speed is fast and the ball is bigger. You can have the same thing with a car. You know, the car, you know, like in San Francisco, you have these hills. So if the car hasn't got the brake on and it just goes off by itself, it'll go slow at first, and then it'll really pick up speed until it bangs into something, right? That's the only way it will stop, when it crashes into something. So the same is happening with our thoughts. This is why I'm telling you to be careful with your thoughts. If you start thinking about something negative, even if you just leave it, it will build momentum. In other words, you will add something to it, if not now, later and later and later, till it becomes so big in your mind that it may turn into, you know, an argument or a conflict or some kind of misunderstanding. So this is why thoughts are very important. If you have a negative thought, immediately we say nip it, like break it at the bud. Don't let it grow. Because firstly, it's hazardous to you. Anytime you think negative, it's hazardous to you first. You might think you're thinking bad about them and you want this bad thought to go to them, but the first person it will affect is you, which means your health. And maybe, yes, your life, because again, you might do something, act on something that you're not happy with. You see? Then there's always repair to do and regret and then all of that to deal with. So why to be negative in the first place? So this is where, yes, momentum. Be careful. Every thought will pick up momentum, and you have to be very careful about that. So don't take negative thoughts lightly. Yeah, don't say, oh, aise hi socha, aise hi kiya. No. You can't justify it like that. Be positive. Try and stay positive, because positivity is your power. So building resilience takes time and practice, you see. And I saw this quote yesterday. Somebody sent it to me. So carbon becomes diamond, but not overnight, right? So sometimes what happens is I have a realization and I say, you know what, I should be good. Then I expect myself to be good tomorrow. I mean, it's good. The thought is good and you're on the right train. But it will take time, so be patient with yourself. But keep at it. Like I said, you're on the right train. Just stay on the train. Keep at it. Keep being positive. And don't give up. And I know, like as you heard, I've been on this path, and Didi too. We've been on this path so many years. And it takes time to change sanskars. You know, we all have very hard, sticky sanskars that need changing. But they will change with time and a bit of help from everyone. But just stay with it. Just stay positive, and really you begin to develop a very strong mind where less and less things begin to affect you. Okay, so you have to become greater than that thing, that issue, that person. You have to become greater than your irritation. You have to become greater than the thing that bothers you, irritates you. And that can happen with meditation. Okay, so what is positive thinking? So what we'll do is I'll carry on a few more slides. And then if you like, I can do a little movement with you and then give you a little break. And then we'll come back, okay? So let's just finish this portion, positive thinking. So yeah, as I was saying, Raj Yoga, meditation, helps us to flex the muscles of our mind, okay? Which helps us to build that resilience. So say, for example, brother, can you come? Okay, try lift this chair. It's easy, right? Yeah. Can you try lifting that safe? Can you try? Huh? This safe, yeah. Go to the top. Can we move this? It has wheels. Try lifting it. Heavy? Sure? Is there anybody in this room who can lift that safe? Anybody thinks they can lift that safe? Yes? You want to try? Not slide it, because it is sliding. Try and lift it. Yes, true. He said, I can't say no without trying. Wow. Okay, it's good. Just stand, both of you stand there. That's perfect. And, and I picked the right people, right? Okay, so what's the difference? Why could he do it and he couldn't do it? Strength? Right now, strength? Huh? Right attitude, good. What else? Thinking positive, good. Self-confidence, good. You have a lot to learn. No, yeah. So, but can he do it? Yes, that's the important point. Yeah. Okay, technique is one thing. Okay, but the point I want to make, which is the point that was made, is anyone can do it. You just have to develop your strength. Okay? Thank you. Yeah. Yeah, and it's good. See, he said, I can't say no without trying, which is a good attitude as well. So this is the point. The point I'm trying to make is sometimes women, you know, like myself, will say, oh, I can only lift a suitcase of 25 kilos. But I can lift more, right, if I build my muscle, right? Brothers are always building their muscle because we always ask you to do things, right? We give you all these jobs. So you are already flexing your muscles. So you can say, yeah, I can pick up a suitcase of 30 kilos, 40 kilos. But that's not to say we can't. We just haven't built the muscle. And so it's the same thing here in the mind, right? There's an endless possibility to what I can achieve with my mind. I'm just not using that mind muscle. I'm not making it flexible, strong, okay? And so this is the idea that through meditation, and really, let me tell you, like, meditation can be very creative. Meditation can be very explorative. Meditation can be an adventure. You know, sometimes people think, well, I'm just sitting there staring at that point for 2 hours. No, not at all. You are so creative with your mind that you're experiencing things with your mind. You're experiencing like altitude. You know, you're experiencing, as I said, travel, mind travel. You're experiencing the depth of stillness. Have you experienced what it's like to be absolutely still? where your thought is absolutely still and absolutely shant. Have you had an experience of that? Yeah, few. So meditation can be a really very exhilarating experience. It's not boring at all. All these years, I've never had a boring meditation. So I really encourage you to try, to adventure into using the mind in different ways. So this is what I was saying, right, about self-talk. Yeah? I feel great, I feel great. So no matter what's going on in your life, right, you feel a sense of, yeah. And this is the self-talk that has to go on in your mind. Yeah. And so what I'd like you to, and let me show you the next slide, then I'll tell you what I want you to do. So these are just some examples of these statements, yeah? And you're going to do that in a minute, is write a few statements. Okay, so the point of, okay, no, let's stop here. Okay, so what I'd like you to do is write a few positive statements about yourself. How would you talk to yourself? Write a few statements of self-talk that you would like to repeat to yourself. And I always say that these statements are like tablets. You take 3 tablets 3 times a day, right? So 3 sentences you repeat 3 times a day. So look at your life, what do you need? And then write these 3 positive statements. Yeah, everybody done? Yeah? Anybody needs more time? You can write more if you want, but minimum 3, yeah? So yeah, these are statements that I encourage you to say to yourself at least 3 times a day, if not more. And even I do this now. Like I create affirmations and I repeat that to myself. And it's just nice. It's good to remind yourself, okay? Okay, so let's do a little stretch break. So please stand up. And you can leave your things on the chair. Or, I don't know if you can see me. Or just spread out so you can see me, yeah? So I won't use the mic, you just see me, okay? Now I'd like you to find someone, stand opposite them, and just look here in the center of the forehead. And just see this being as a soul, as a point of light. And I'd like you to send them lots of love and good wishes. Open your heart and send this soul lots of love and good wishes. And wish them well on their journey. Wish them all the success. Now close your eyes and just be with yourself. And I'd like you to remember your own virtues and qualities. And I'd like you to say to yourself those 3 statements, but really with conviction. I am that, I am that, I am that. And let your whole being hear that. Okay, now open your eyes and just be happy. And just free flow, dance. Just free flow. Brothers, don't look at each other, just free flow, dance. Emerge the dancing spirit, emerge the happy spirit. Imagine there's not a single worry in your life. You're the carefree emperor. Let every cell in your body dance with happiness. La 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 la. See, this is where you have to become soul conscious. Don't be body conscious. Don't think anybody's looking at me. Just become soul conscious. Good. Okay, so we give you a break for 15 minutes. So can you come back like 5 to 12? Yeah? Your eyes somewhere. And so I remind myself that I am a peaceful soul. So just say to yourself quietly in your mind, I am a peaceful soul. I am a powerful soul. I am important. I am special. I have strength of mind. So right now I'd like you to get into that space, which is the deepest part of you. Imagine that inside of you is a well of peace, a well of calm. I'd like you to dive into that well. And I'd like every cell in your body to absorb that deep peace. So that your whole being becomes calm and peaceful. And I'd like you to make some kind of a promise to yourself that you will only create positive thoughts for your own well-being. I deserve positivity. I will not allow anyone to walk through my mind with dirty feet. So again, just take a deep breath and let's come back to this moment. Okay, so I will keep the music playing because I want us to do a little reflection now. And okay, so this is the point. The point is now we're going to do a little exercise on finding my purpose. Because why should you be resilient? Why should you be agile? Why should you make the effort? Why should you be strong? You have to have a reason, a purpose. In fact, we don't do anything without purpose. And look at everything in this room, you know? Everything has a purpose. Okay, what was I saying? Yeah. What was I saying? Yes, everything has a purpose, right? So look at everything in this room, it has a purpose. So what is your purpose? Everything is saying, use me, right? The curtains, the chair, the camera, the mic. So how should I be used? What's my purpose for being here? Okay, so the only thing that comes between me, my life purpose is me. So what I'd like us to do is I'd like you to draw this chart in your book. So one line coming down and one line going across. And sister? So at the bottom, the line is time in years. Okay, time in years here. And this here is the level of experience. So just take a few moments now to be with yourself. And I'd like you to, you decide the time. It can be 5, 10, 15, 20 years, or it can be 10, 20, or you can start at 20, up to you. But the bottom bit, right, represents your life and your years in your life. So you can decide where you want to put the marker. And then this line represents the level of experience. So in other words, what were the significant moments in your life? Okay, so maybe when you graduated, or maybe when you got your first bicycle, or anything. Not anything, nobody will judge you. Maybe when you, your mom and dad sent you to your first dance class or something, whatever. Whatever you felt were significant milestones in your life. So what you would do is, एक minute. So what you would do is say you 10 years here, 10 years I did such, so you'd put the activity, but then what's the level of experience? So level of experience can be, I was very happy, or I was very sad, or I was courageous or not so courageous. Of course, the higher you go, the more elated you are, and the lower you are, it's still a significant experience, but maybe it's not so pleasant. Okay? So level of experience here. Experience is there. You will put beside it dance class, and then very happy, not so happy, like maybe you weren't happy that they sent you, you know? Is everybody understanding what needs to be done? Anyone not understanding? Okay, so you can begin. Just think, just be with yourself and see what are the significant mileposts in your life that left an impression. So write at least like 5 or 6 things. So now I'd like you to join the dots. Join the dots and see what kind of line it creates. All right, go from left to right. Okay, and then just notice, how is the line going? Is it going like this? Is it going like this? Okay, so just again, stay in that reflective mode. I'm going to ask you a few questions. And just answer with the first answer that comes to your mind, okay? Don't think too much. Don't think too hard, because it's actually the first answer that will be the answer. Okay, ready? First question. So, looking at the present stage of your life, right? The last bit, somewhere in the last bit. How would you define the present stage of your life? Is it confusion? Is it searching for the truth? Is it success? Is it learning? Just try and come up with one or two words that defines the present stage of your life. And next question, if you just look back over the other events, the past events, again, is there anything you can say about that? Like, now that you've joined the dots, just reflect. Is there any comment you want to make about what you're noticing? Like, maybe you might say, oh, it was all good experiences. Or, oh, I see, I learned so much, or anything. Like, just see if there's any comment that you're seeing now, you're realizing now, regarding the previous events. Okay, now looking to the future. So you can again say 2 years, 5 years, whatever time gap you want to create. So what do you sense is the next step for you right now? Or the next step in the next year, or next 2 years, or next 5 years, whatever time stream you want to use. What would you say? What stage is that for you? Like maybe seeking more knowledge, or looking after my health, or being more people-oriented, less task-oriented. As I said, just jot down what comes to you first thoughts. Okay, I'm going through them fast for a reason, so you don't have too much time to think. Next. So when you look back at your darkest moments, right, your lowest dips in your life, what got you through it? What pulled you through those darkest moments? So write down what pulled you through those darkest moments. Maybe it was your own courage. Maybe it was family and friends. Something related to you. Maybe your meditation. Okay, and I'd like you to do the same thing for your highest peaks or the best periods of your life. So what was working for you then? When you were having those highs, those successes, what was working for you then? What qualities? What talents were you exercising at that time? Okay, next. If you became an instant millionaire, or actually several millionaire, or kya bolte crorepati, okay, what would you do differently than what you are doing today? Say money was not an issue. You had all the money in the world. So what would you be doing if money was not the issue, if you're not having to go to work for money? What would you be doing? How would you be living your life today? Yeah? You don't have to write a book. Okay, next. What have you always wanted to do but have been afraid to attempt? What have you always wanted to do but you have been afraid to try it, to attempt doing it? Maybe it might be opening a business. Maybe you wanted to, but you're afraid. Maybe it might be zipline. Maybe it might be spending money recklessly, you know, without a fear, without a doubt. Okay. One of the reasons we don't recognize our gifts is because our gifts are very natural for us. So what do you think is your natural gift? What have you come into this world with as a natural gift? Like you've been blessed with this. What is that thing? Maybe you're a natural listener. Maybe a generous person. You know, that's why I'm saying these natural qualities seem so natural, you don't even realize that it's a quality. So what is your natural gift? The gift you bring into this world to share with everyone. Okay? Yeah? Okay. And last question now. If you were to define yourself in a form of an image, what would that image be? Okay? So given what you're feeling right now, what do you feel like? And I'd like you to draw that in the form of an image. So maybe you feel bold. So that's like the eagle. Maybe you feel like a victim. So that's the doormat. Maybe you feel strong and powerful. So many symbols. Maybe the sun, maybe the key. You see? So I'd like you to draw an image for yourself. This is you. The image is a reflection of how you're feeling right now. Okay? Okay, and then this is the last question. I don't know if you can read it from far, but these are all different feelings that we feel. Okay, these are negative, positive, supportive, depression. Can you read them at the back or no? Kind of? So I'd like you to pick a few of these feelings that you're feeling right now. Just pick a few. Maybe a bit of everything. I mean, it doesn't have to be a bit of everything. Whatever you're feeling. If you're feeling fearful, anxious, happy, right? Sad, neglected. Whatever you're feeling. So these answers will give you a few clues into what is your purpose, right? I suggest that you go home and you look at your answers. And as I said, don't try and change the answers because you wrote those answers for a reason, right? Don't go back and try and say, no, I didn't mean to say that. Because somewhere your unconscious wanted to say that. Okay? So, yeah, go home and then see what is it that you're here to do in the world. And it won't be a talent or a skill. It will be a quality. You will arrive at a quality. And I did this exercise back when I was a teenager. And the word that I came up with, and I actually did a longer exercise than this. And then finally, the word that I came up with for myself was to share. Aruna is here to share. And share what? Share everything. You know? So I share nice things that come my way. I share the wisdom that I have. Share. Just share. Don't have it for yourself. Share what you have. And that's what I'm doing now. I'm sharing. So my life has been governed by this one quality that I want to share what I have with the world. You see? And that's what gives me the most joy. So that's what I'd like you to come up with for yourself. What is the one thing that you feel you are here to do? And then whatever you're doing, you will do that quality within whatever you're doing. Yeah? Yeah. Okay, so let's move on. It's not working. Dilip bhai? Okay. So, once we are in tune with our purpose, right? It's like pointing to north. So all of you, I'd like you to point to north. Where is north? All of you now, point to north. This way? This way? This way? Where is north? This way? This way? Well, yeah, it could be anywhere, but my point is, what is your north? You see, why do we look for north? Because then we can figure out all the other angles, sides, yeah? So for me too, what is my north? What is the compass pointing to? In other words, what am I here to do? And once I do that, everything else will fall into place and I will understand everything. Is that clear? You have to find your north. Just as we all got confused. But it doesn't matter, we're not going anywhere now. But yeah, find your north. Okay? So, okay, now a few more just some basic tips and tools now. So, we can actually attract what we want in our life to make it happen. I don't like this kind of hopeless feeling in people that things are being done to me and that I don't have the power to, do what I want. Because as I already said, everybody has access to everything and we can achieve whatever we want. We just have to do a little mehnat, right? And so here, the law of attraction says that you can have what you want, but you just put out the energy and attract it to yourself. And I really believe in this. And the classic example is parking space, right? If you are driving and you go and you say, and I've done it many times, and you say to yourself, Aruna, your time is very valuable and you deserve a parking space. You can't afford to waste your time looking for parking. And really, somewhere somebody's coming out, or sometimes you'll see a space nobody else has seen. It's really magic. But you have to believe that you are deserving of the parking space. You can't have a doubt in that. Okay? So this is why law of attraction doesn't work, is when people put out the thought, but they also doubt it, which means the thought is not as powerful. It's like you sent off the rocket, but with not enough fuel. You see? So, right, often in life we're asking, right, why me? But why not? Right? And what am I attracting in my life? So before I show you the picture, if you ordered some flowers, right? I don't know if you have this thing here where you phone and somebody delivers the flowers. You have this? Yeah. Okay, so you phone and you phone this florist and you tell them, send flowers to this place at this time on this day. And if the flowers didn't get delivered, right, whose fault is it? Whose fault? The person who didn't deliver? Whose fault? Huh? Didn't choose the right florist? Yeah, pathetic florist. What else is the reason? Huh? Whose fault? Say it loudly.
Our fault.
Okay, why?
We are not confident in him that he will deliver on time. We are doubted whether he will deliver or not.
Good.
We passed him negative thought, right?
Yeah, past him negative thoughts. Yes, brother? Huh? Didn't follow up. Okay.
So really you want to deliver, you have to deliver.
Well, we can't do that with everything. The brother's saying if you want it delivered, you have to do it yourself. But we can't do everything ourselves, so we have to trust, right? So yes, the fault is mine, okay, because yes, I didn't put enough fuel or trust into that thought. I didn't believe enough that it could happen. You see? And if you really trust that whatever I put out has to happen, or whatever I want will come to me, if you really believe in it, it really does. Might just take a little time, but that's because you have to learn the patience. So I always say, for example, money. Okay, there's so much money in the world. Why isn't it coming to me? Right? So much money in the world. Crores of rupees. Some of it can come to me, no? I don't want all of it, just some of it. Why can't it come to me? You're not asking for it, or you don't believe that you can have it. You see? You don't trust. In fact, you don't even trust yourself that if you had it, you don't know what to do with it. So when we're talking about law of attraction, we want to make our life more than average. I'm not saying we're superhuman. In a way, we are superhuman because we're using our, soul powers. But what I'd like you to see is that you can be the master of your life by creating your reality, by sending out the right thoughts. Even in relationships, okay? You might say, I want this person to be more loving, more kind. Well, you make it happen. Like yesterday night also, there was a discussion here. And I said, the only way you can change somebody else is by you changing yourself. Because when you change, you inspire them to change. When you change, you show them another way to be. You see? Otherwise, they will not have any other way. They're not seeing other examples. So show them the way. Say, look, you can be nice, you can be kind, you can get this done in this way. And they will follow you. So this is very important. So again, back to me being strong and being able to achieve what I want. I can attract my reality. So nobody here is a victim. Nothing is being done to you. You are interpreting all the events based on how you think and believe yourself to be. So you think I'm not worthy, so you think, no, how can that thing come to me? And then also because we think so negative, right? And the flowers don't get delivered. And we say, pata tha ne, nahi karenga. Like we just assume, yes, things all go bad and people don't do their job, and we knew it's going to be like that. But no, why to reinforce this attitude? Be positive. Trust. Trust that it will happen. And sometimes like so many things happen in our life where you weren't supposed to get that, but somehow you got it. Even if it's a cup of coffee or a seat or somehow, like even on the bus or the train or, it's amazing how things come to you when you didn't even ask for it. But that's because your energy is positive. And the universe and the drama of life is there to support you and help you. Do you see? So, like I said, why it goes to them and not to me? I'm not any less. So think of yourself as a powerful being that can attract everything that you want. And I call this like the flow. Let there be the flow in your life. Okay? Okay, so basically, we have to move from self-realization to self-empowerment. Let me just tell you a little quick story. So there was a man, and he wanted to visit the holy man. Everybody said, over there on the mountain is the holy man. So this guy thought, yeah, I'd like to meet the holy man. Okay? So what he did is went knocking on the door, and this man who looked like a servant, right, he walked him through the house, okay, and he opened the back door. And he said, thank you, goodbye. So this man says, but I came to see the holy man. He said, you just did. Do you get it? This person that looked like a servant, that looked so plain and simple, was the holy man. So I'm making the point that many times we go about our life, you know, looking for things without really seeing that they're right in front of us. And we're looking for something else, like chamatkar or something. And it's there, facing us. So that's why I'm saying that okay, let me, before I show you the words. So the iceberg, right? There's wind going in this direction and water going in this direction. So which direction is the iceberg moving? The water or the air? Water. Why the water? Yes, most of the iceberg is under the water. Okay? So what this says is there's a lot of us that is visible to the surface, right? What we say, what we do, these are all visible actions. The way we behave in relationships. But then there's a lot that's not visible, which is our perceptions, our ideas, our beliefs, our desires, many things, thoughts, feelings. And all this is actually governing the way we move forward in life. You see? What's going on inside is making me move forward in life, not what's going on outside. We think outside things are controlling my life. No. It's the inside things that are controlling my life. Which is going back to what I said. If you believe you deserve, you will get. You believe you don't deserve, you will not get. You will not attract that. See? So this is where we say in meditation we are being empowered from the inside out. Which is, as I said, the core of your being. There's a you know, a powerhouse inside of you that we haven't tapped into yet. If you want peace and love and kindness and positivity, and can you go out and buy it in D-Mart? Huh? Can you say, can I have 2 pounds of peace? No. Can you give me love? Can you give me some respect? Okay? No, it's here. All these virtues and qualities are inside of us. So in meditation, I stop, I look, you know, I turn the light inside and look. And I say, wow, yeah, I'm so full of love. I'm so full of respect, so full of kindness. It's not out there. It's not even coming from the other person. Nobody can give you extra respect if you don't have that respect for yourself. There's this one girl I've known for like 30 years. Okay, and I've been trying to encourage her. She's an artist, and I've been trying to tell her, you're such a good artist, and you can make lots of money, and, you know, we all love you, but no, she doesn't believe that she's a good artist. She doesn't believe it. She has to believe it, no? For her to succeed. So this is the point. Nobody can make you feel any extra love if you don't have it for yourself. Nobody can make you feel kind if you don't have it for yourself. Okay, if it's my birthday, who wants to get me a present? Who wants to get me a present? Okay, so it's my birthday. You bring me a present, okay? Where is the love? In the heart or the box? In the heart. So when she gives me the present, right, I take the box and I might use it, not use it, whatever, throw it, it gets broken, whatever. But the love stays, right? The memory of that love stays. So these qualities are eternal. It's not about the gift, it's about the experience, the memory. So these feelings and qualities are inside of us. Okay, and these are the deeper experiences we want in life, not the temporary. Okay, managing emotions. So he has gone to the anger management support group and the meeting is cancelled. And so he's angry. Okay, so what am I saying? Yeah, so one of the things that really takes our power away, right, that takes us off our seat of being agile, being resilient, is we call the vices. And vices are the weakness in the soul. But vices are just the absence of virtue, right? Just as darkness is absence of light. So when there's darkness, you just bring a candle and it lights up the room, doesn't it? In the same way, if I'm feeling dark inside, sad, dark, depressed, I just bring a virtue. I highlight a virtue in myself. Okay, so during the break, somebody was asking me that I don't have work for the last year and I can't think positive. And so as I interviewed this person, I said, what's your job? Why you don't have work? Like, do you have a specialty? And he said, yeah, I have a specialty. So I said, then you're a special person. You're a special person, you have a very, narrow specialty, and so that right job is being prepared for you. You're not common, your job is not common. So that right job is waiting for you, it's being prepared, tailored for you. This is the positive thought that you have to have for yourself. And it will come. Just believe that that job is being prepared, it's coming very soon. And that I'm special. I'm not less, I'm special. Okay? So back to this, that's what I'm saying. Virtue, light, right? So anger has to turn to peace, right? The reason why I get angry is because I'm not peaceful. So I try to control, the environment with my anger instead of controlling myself with peace. Ego has to turn to truth. Ego is actually a falsehood. And ego makes us serious, actually. Ego makes us sad. Ego is not a happy state. So that's why I said we set up all these false egos. See, look at my house, look at my position, look at my wealth. These are false egos. It's not the truth. The truth is that I am an eternal being. This is my swaman, my self-respect. So opposite of ego is actually self-respect, which is the truth. So always look at the truth of the matter. Love and attachment. So think about it. When you really love somebody, you don't have to be attached. Right? If you love a flower, and you go and pick it, it dies within a few days. But if you love the flower, you would leave it there and water it And you'd say, let everybody appreciate the beauty of this flower, not just me. But this is the illusion. We think if we love something, I have to have it. I have to possess it. You see? And that's the attachment. And attachment actually suffocates people. So the more you're attached, the more they run, actually. Have you tried this with children? You try to, keep your children very attached and close, and they say, Mom, please, leave me alone. Okay? So attachment doesn't work. Let go. And then greed has to turn to happiness. You see, we're greedy, thinking if I have more food, a bigger house, more clothes, maybe I'll be happy. But it's never enough. Right? Greed is never enough, okay? And I'll never be happy. So I have to start with happiness. Okay, so this is the formula for life. You want to know the formula for life? Are you sure? Are you ready to hear the formula for life? The formula for your success? Are you ready to hear it? Okay. So the old formula for life was, okay, here it goes. The old formula for life was, I do, I get, and I become. Okay, so I do, I work hard. Okay, I do this job and I do that and I do that. And then I get the money, I get the respect, I get the position, and then I become happy. I become successful. What's the new formula? Huh?
I become happy first. And then I'll get. Then I'll do.
Exactly. See, you're all so smart. Yeah, so the new formula for happiness and success is the opposite. First, you become happy, become positive, become powerful. Then you will get, right? You will get the money, you will get the help, you'll get the resources, you'll get the cooperation. And then you do. This is how the Brahma Kumaris operates. Really, it's amazing. We don't have the money, we don't have the manpower, and we just say, right, Didi? We just say, we're going to do that conference. We're going to open that retreat center. We don't have the resources in our hands. I've seen this in so many parts of the world, even in London. 22, 23 years ago, when we opened Global Cooperation House. At that time, we thought it's a £2 million project. It turned into like £8 million project. We didn't have the money, but Dadi said, "Nee, chalo, bando, karo." And really, the help came from everywhere. And it got built. So again, think of it this way, First be in the experience, and then things will come your way, and that's success, right? Just take the risk. Okay, so again, this is just something for you to learn to develop yourself. That's why I'm showing you this diagram. It's not my diagram, it's from a book, Living in Balance. So this is very easy, very quick. See, in order for me to learn and grow, this is my level of skill set. This is my level of challenges and demands. Okay? So in order for me to continue growing in life, I have to make sure that my skill set and my level of demand is the same. If my skill set is low, right, less here, then, and my level of demand is high, then I'll experience burnout. In other words, you don't have the skills to do something, but a lot is expected of you, right? Your boss is asking you to do a lot, but you don't have the skills to do it. So you're burnt out. Okay, next, if you're too qualified, okay? If you're too qualified, but you're not being challenged enough, you're just doing petty little things, then there's rust out. You become rusty. So this is the zone we want to be in. This is the happy zone, right? Where we want to be, the comfort zone, where we are constantly actually learning. So we are developing the skill set, and we have enough challenges to make us happy. So this is why I really encourage you to keep learning, to keep growing. And in fact, I'm always doing that as well. Okay, so you know what? I'm going to just skip some slides. I think many of you know about the Brahma Kumaris. And so these are some of the lessons that you can take with the Brahma Kumaris. This is good. This is, see all the lessons, like I already mentioned, 8 powers. You quickly saw the 8 powers. And the 4 pillars of Raj Yoga. And also this now, right? Everything is my karma and I'm creating a choice. So whether you decide to sit here or here, it's up to you. At every moment, you know, there's a saying, between every stimulus and a response, there is a space in which to choose. Right? So something happens and we all react. But we will all react differently based on where we're at inside. Right? There's that little story that goes around about the cockroach. Do you remember? So these ladies are in the restaurant, and what happens is this man, he brings a plate of food, and the cockroach jumps from the plate into the lady's lap. So she's screaming and shouting, and as she's screaming, the cockroach jumps from her clothes onto the waiter's hand. And he stays very calm. And so he just then takes the cockroach outside. That's the story. So the cockroach is the same. It's on her and on him, but their responses are different. Why are their responses different? Because of her experience with the cockroach and his experience with the cockroach. You see? So the same thing can happen to all of us, but we will react differently based on our choices and also based on our karma. In this room, we're all bringing our karma into this room. So here we have collective karma. So whatever happens to this room will happen to us, all of us. This is collective karma. But even within the collective, each one of us has individual choice. And so karma teaches us that you have choice, and because of the choice, you are responsible. So going back to, it's my responsibility. You see? Don't expect others to change your life for you. It's your responsibility. You change your life. So what happens when we are balanced, right? These are all the aspects of balance. So when we are spiritual, social, when we take care of the environment, when we take care of our emotions, our mental state and our physical state, this is when we're in a state of balance. And these are the results. So this is why, you know, I always say, if each one of us, imagine if each one of us were a whole person, the world would be such a better place. But we're not, we're all empty. Some of us are half empty, some of us are 3/4 empty, some of us, 10% empty. And that's why we're expecting others to fill us. And that's why we're not happy, because you don't fulfill me. Yeah? But again, here in Raj Yoga, we learn that nobody can fill you. So don't even waste your time. Don't bother. Don't try expecting that person to make you happy. Our one source of power is from there, up there. Okay? And when I'm having meditation and I'm tuning into that source, I really do feel that I'm becoming full. And then I'm able to give this way. Instead of taking, I'm giving this way. Okay? So, how do you read that? What does that say? Happiness is nowhere? Happiness is now here. Yeah? So again, a question of perspective. Happiness is now here. If you believe it's here, it's here. If you believe it's nowhere, it's nowhere. So happiness is a state of mind. So happy people are 31% more productive than unhappy people. Yeah? So even be happy if you're going to die. Okay. So I'd like you to exercise. This is a word that's coming into the mainstream now, something called soft power, which I believe really the Brahma Kumaris are quite good at. And that is leading with soft power, not the hard power, not the aggressive power, not power to control or manipulate. But soft power is, as you see, I've put the hearts. This is actually cover of one of my books. And so we're exercising the muscles of our heart, the EQ, the emotion. And so try to use virtue in leadership. You see? And I'll tell you a story about that. So this is our dream job, yeah? To be at peace, to be in the eye of the storm. You know the eye of the storm? When there is a hurricane, the best place to be is in the center, where you're not affected. Okay, so you know what? Let me just tell you that story, and then I'll tell you this, and then we'll finish. Okay, so the story I'd like to leave you with is, it's called Building Community, and it's by Scott Peck in his book, Building Community. And the story goes like this. So there was a monastery on the mountains, and this monastery was falling apart. Physically, it was, you know, needing repair, but also the monks were leaving. They were not happy. And so what happened is, at the end, there was only 5 monks left, looking after the place, trying to clean it, trying to invite the people to come and visit and donate and, you know, trying to keep it running. So they had a little meeting. They said, look, what are we going to do now? There's only 5 of us and it's not looking good. So they decided that, you know, every year there's a wise man who comes to the mountain. So they said, why don't we go and meet him and see what he says? Maybe he has some advice for us. So the head monk, he went, right? When the man came, they went to meet the wise man. And they said, look, our monastery is falling apart and we don't know what to do. Do you have any advice? He said, no, I'm sorry. I don't have any advice. He said, what do you mean you don't have any advice? He said, you're the wise man. You're supposed to tell us. He said, no, I'm sorry. So as this man is walking away, the wise man says, but all I can tell you is one of you there is the Messiah. Messiah is like the prophet. Right? One of you there is a very holy, noble person. So he said, right? Like, so what? So he started walking back to the monastery. And as he started walking back, he said, I wonder if Didi Ambika is the holy Messiah, you know, the prophet. Because, you know, she has this lovely caring quality. She's very kind. She's very sweet. Or maybe it's, what's your name? Rajiv. Maybe it's Rajiv. Because he's always so helpful and caring and kind. And what's your name, brother? Yeah? Arjun, yes. Maybe it's Arjun. Arjun's number 1 in everything, right? So as he started walking back to the monastery, he started looking at the goodness in each one. He started seeing the quality in each one. And by the time he got there, he said, maybe I'm the Messiah. Because I'm good too. I have so many qualities in me. So as he entered this place, they're all waiting for him. And they're saying, what? Tell us. What did he say? He said, well, he didn't say much. He just said that one of us here is the Messiah. And they all started thinking in the same way. Yeah, because if you're the Messiah and I'm not nice to you, you know, what will happen to me? You see? So I better be nice to everyone. So everybody started thinking in the same way. And you know what? All of them, because their vision changed of each other, the environment changed, the vibration changed, the atmosphere changed, and so people started to want to be with them. They started being attracted to this group. And so they came, and then the monastery flourished, then the donations came and they repaired, and it flourished once again. Only because they were seeing virtue in themselves and in others. Okay, so this is from not Brahma Kumari's story. We have many of them, but this is a story from the world, a worldly perspective. So this is what I leave you with now, is really to see the virtue in yourself, see the virtue in others, and really virtue is power, virtue is strength. Weakness is not strength. So anytime you're feeling weak, you have to revert back to a quality or a virtue. Okay, so these are things that you might like to do. You can give yourself the 60-day challenge, okay? So throughout the day, we have something called traffic control, where you can stop for a few minutes a day, and you just pause. You just take a pause and just check the traffic of your mind and go back to your positive thinking. So if you're worried, you're upset, you're anxious, anything, no, go back to positive, powerful thinking. Then what we were saying is in your companies, there could be lunchtime meditation sessions. So either once a week or every day you just meet, you all eat your lunch together, and then you close with a 10-minute meditation, you know, something like that. Once a week you can do group meditation workshops. You can have one of our sisters come, monthly retreats. And this is something nice also, like values at work. You know, where we actually have, maybe you have them for sale here, the blessing cards, yeah, or virtue cards. And what you can do is you can leave them in a bowl, and every day you can pick up one and practice that. Or as a group, as a team, or as a company, you can send out a circular and you can say, you know what, this week is Respect Week. So we have to learn to respect everyone. Respect time, respect things, resources, respect. Let's exercise respect. Next week it's cooperation. Let's learn to be more cooperative with each other. You know? So every week you can focus on a virtue. And it's nice because it really does create like camaraderie, you know, in the company. And anyway, it's good to think about positive things, right? And so, like, you know, what I'd like to do now is just 2 minutes of meditation where I'd like us to sow some seeds with your thoughts, right? For something new, for something great. Okay, so let's just sit for a few moments. Try not to hold on to anything. Maybe we can turn the lights down. Lights. So yeah, as I said, just sit comfortably. Okay, just sit comfortably. So I turn inside into the sanctuary of my mind. And what I'd like to do now is to create a room in my mind, a space in my mind. So as you turn inside, I'd like you to imagine that you are building a room in your mind. So you decide the shape and size of this room. And you decide the location. So it could be even on the clouds. It can be on the hills, on top of a mountain, on the water. And you decide on the shape and the size. And now choose the windows. Maybe it doesn't have windows. And now choose the colors of the walls. And now I'd like you to choose a seat, a comfortable seat, or create that comfortable seat. And I'd like you to add 1 or 2 things which are special to you. So maybe some flowers, maybe a candle, maybe a book. Just add 1 or 2 things only that allows you to express yourself. Okay, and now I'd like you to sit down on that seat, and I'd like you to look out. And this is your safe and secure place that no one and nothing can touch. And from this place, from this seat, you will experiment with the power of silence, power of stillness, power of love, power of light and might. Many things. So just take a deep breath as you settle into this seat, which is now your seat of self-respect. No one will ever tell you to come off the seat.